Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Kaidon Salter, the four-star dual-threat quarterback out of Texas, a guy that heading into the spring, let's just be honest. Let's look at it. He had all the hype. Everybody was talking about him. Athletically gifted, a guy with all the confidence and swagger, a guy that we all thought could be the leader for this football team. But the question of the day is, Kaidon Salter a leader, or is he a distractor?
The songs how like me, poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
Before we get into this video, guys, as always, go ahead and smash that thumbs up. Just press it just below the video. I would greatly appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel. Click that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live. But let's get into it. Like I said at the top of the video, going into this spring, Kaidon Salter is the guy with all the hype. There was this buzz around him. Some of us were saying that he could even earn the starting job heading into the fall. Yesterday, found himself right back in the middle of Twitter drama. Just a quick rundown for those that didn't see it. Vault Football likes to show some love to their coaches, their players. They tweet out a happy birthday. Not a big deal, just something they like to do. And apparently on, I believe it was Saturday, it was Kaidon Salter's birthday, and he didn't get that love. He wasn't shown that love from Vault Football Twitter. So he took to Twitter to voice his frustration. And he found himself right in the middle of a bunch of drama, bunch of nonsense, just back and forth. And look, it's not a big deal, but Kaidon Salter has yet to take a snap for the University of Tennessee. He's not stepped foot on the practice field, but we continue to see his name in the news all over social media. You know, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look when you call out your school and then you go back and forth with fans arguing, and then you have to go back and delete the tweets. And then this tweet's still up there. I love Twitter with the laughing faces. And maybe it's all just a joke. It's just not a good look. And I want to preface this, by saying this young man has been through a lot since moving on to campus. The issues with his dad, being hospitalized. It's a lot for a 17-year-old kid to take on during this huge transition period of his life. And I get it. I get it. But you, Kaidon Salter, have the potential to be the starting quarterback for the University of Tennessee. A leader. The quarterback, the reality of the situation, whether you like it or not, the quarterback is held to a higher standard than every other player on this team. It's just the reality. It is what it is. And like I said, Kaidon Salter has yet to play it down for this football program. Not even a snap on the practice field. But yet here we are. We're talking about weed. We're talking about fights. We're talking about the dorm room incident, being suspended indefinitely. But you're upset because you didn't get a birthday shout out on Twitter. You are not even a part of this team right now. So again, my question is, where is Kaidon Salter's focus? And I want to say this, again, understanding this young man's been through some tough times the last few months. But I also want to say everything that's happened just the last month alone with Kaidon, it does not and it will not define him as a person. It won't define him as a player. The legal charges from the dorm room incident, they've already been dropped. It's just a matter of time, I believe, before he returns to the practice field. But I think this kid has some serious growing up to do. First of all, get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter. I think there are times, in the tweet I showed earlier, I love Twitter. Get off of it, man. Get off of Twitter. There are times that I think that coaches, definitely during the season, should ban Twitter and social media. I think maybe even during spring practice. What good comes out of being on social media. And when you're talking about Kaidon Salter, the quarterback position, being held to a different standard, go look at Brian Maurer. And I still have the tweet here. I can pull it up from just a couple of videos ago when I was talking about Brian Maurer in a redemption story. And, I think the problem for Brian Maurer is a lack of maturity. And I hope we are seeing a change going into the 2021 season. He's a guy that we are seeing, as a potential front runner. The relationship with Josh Heupel, his past with Josh Heupel, I hope Brian Maurer has learned. I hope Brian Maurer has grown. And if Brian Maurer wins the starting job, I'll stand behind him. But Kaidon Salter needs to learn from Brian Maurer's past mistakes. You guys ever seen the movie The Junction Boys? The Junction Boys about Bear Bryant. There's a reason Bear Bryant took those kids out into the middle of nowhere and went to work. And that's because it gives you an opportunity to tune out distractions, focus on the team. We talk about the end game for these kids being the league, and whether you agree with the transfer portal, disagree, it's been a hot topic on this channel. Some of you say, well, it's their right. It's all about development and getting to the league. And if that's their end game, if their end game is earning an NFL contract, then every single choice you make, every single decision, you should be asking yourself how this impacts my goals. And how does this decision that I'm about to make, how does that impact me making it to the league? And with Kaidon Salter, I don't know what went down at that dorm room, but Kaidon Salter needs to surround himself with the right people. That's a start, because I don't think, based on his actions, I don't think he's ready to be a leader. But if you surround yourself with the right people, maybe he needs to be around Hendon Hooker. Upperclassman, has been there. He's played at a high level. But every single decision that you make, ask yourself, how is this helping me get to the league? And I know that these are kids. I'm not naive. I'm not dumb. I know that they are young, 18 to 22-year-old kids that are in college. They're going to do what they do. And it's a fun time in their lives. They are growing, and they're going to have a good time. I get it. But again, like I said earlier, the quarterback held to a higher standard. Kaidon Salter has every opportunity. He's got all the potential in the world. You turn on his highlights, you're going to see real quick just what he brings to the table. You're going to see how he can contribute to this team, especially when you're talking about Josh Heupel's system. On the field, no question, the kid's got it. But the question is Kaidon Salter a leader, or is Kaidon Salter a distractor? His teammate, look, he's on Twitter complaining about getting a happy birthday. He's on Twitter going back and forth, arguing with people, and he has to go back and delete those tweets. How does that help your team? How does that help you? His teammates have been putting in the work. They're 2 weeks in to spring camp, a weekend of playing in full pads. They're going through the pains, the struggles. They're trying to work for something, and they're doing it without Kaidon Salter. And I want to say, I'm pulling for Kaidon Salter. He's a young kid. I hope he learns from this past month. He needs to be, again, I reiterate, he needs to surround himself with the right people. And that's not just on the field, that's also off the field. And I want to go back and say again, too, like I said earlier in this video, this last month, the dorm room incident, Twitter arguments, whatever he's doing, none of this defines Kaidon Salter. It doesn't define him as a player. It doesn't define him as a person. I just want to see Kaidon Salter learn from this. I want to see Kaidon Salter grow from this, and I want to see him repping that power T with pride and honor, because I think he has every opportunity to be a special kid. One last thing before I wrap up this video, do us a favor, go check out the official merch link for Talkin VAWLS. We got all kinds of stuff. The link is in the description below. You can pick up the Mount Rushmore shirts available in t-shirts as well as hoodies. We've got mugs. We got the old school logo merch. And then also the Egghead cartoon shirt, going to be discontinued real soon. We got to get the Indie Kid added up and a new design put out. We'll be doing that soon. One of my favorite designs, the Talkin VAWLS State Pride logo merch. Really clean, available. All these shirts, multiple colors and options. I know Somebody said they wanted the baseball shirt with orange sleeves. Unfortunately, that design is kind of limited on the colors that we do offer. But check it out, ball hoop shirts as well. Those are really good, really clean design. Love those shirts. But as always, guys, make sure you do smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. I hope this doesn't come off as too negative. I hope it doesn't. I'm pulling for Kaidon Salter. I just hope he learns from this. I hope he gets better. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. We're going to be breaking down spring practice. The Vols take back to the field tomorrow on Tuesday. The Indie Kid put out a Rocky Top review. Check that out, talking about the Diamond Vols, a little bit of hoops news. But for the Talkin VAWLS Network, my name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like me, poets sat in arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we draw home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.